Vikings-Rams. Rams win this game 30-20. Let's take a look at the top 5 graded players that we had from the Los Angeles Rams as they got the victory here. Edge rusher Jared Verse with an 83.5. Wide receiver Puka Nacua back in the lineup with an 81.5. Defensive tackle Bobby Brown III, 73.9. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp also back in the lineup, 66.4. And then wide receiver Demarcus Robinson with a 65.9. Matthew Stafford in this one, an 82.9. And then on Minnesota's side of things, edge rusher Jonathan Grenard, an 89.8 overall grade. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson, an 87.6. Cornerback Byron Murphy, an 80.0. Running back Aaron Jones with a 73.2. Edge rusher Andrew Van Ginkel with a 71.9. And then Sam Darnold, an 83.4. Good quarterback duel this past Thursday. But what was the stat that mattered here for you, Dalton?
For me, it's actually, I know, you're going to get into Puka Nacua coming back, Cooper Kupp being in healthy, having all the weapons. But to me, it's about protecting Matthew Stafford. And the Rams, coming into this week, they were dead last in pass protection grade for the season. They really had been struggling, especially with injuries to the interior. It's been a problem. It looked more like 2 years ago when they'd only won 5 games and they couldn't protect Stafford at all. Look, he's an older quarterback who needs protection. In this game, he was only pressured on 8 out of his 34 dropbacks. He was allowed to work from a clean pocket, kind of like I just talked about with Bo Nix. 0 sacks, only two hits. And look, was it elite? No, it wasn't elite. They only had a 63 pass blocking grade, but that's actually the best that they've done all season, which says a lot about the way it's been. Matt Stafford in a clean pocket, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, 85.7 passing grade. Again, he's older. He can certainly still improvise. We saw that on the 1 touchdown, ducking under a tackler and making the throw. I believe it was to Cooper Kupp in the back of the end zone, but he's not a guy that's going to do that like he used to, right? You got to protect this guy. If Stafford's protected and the weapons stay healthy, you talk about a playoff caliber offense that can really do some things and beating a defense that was playing really well most weeks for Minnesota. So we see the potential here. As long as they protect Stafford and those 2 guys on the outside stay healthy, they have a shot to kind of turn this thing around here.
Look, I think that sort of piggybacking off of what you said, this offense getting healthier and getting more involved, Puka Nacua being able to hit the ground running. I mean, there was even talk of like, okay, he might not play in this game. Not only does he play in this game, 9 targets, 7 catches, over 100 yards, 106 yards, 40.9% threat percentage. I mean, they got this guy involved immediately. When you look at the first quarter alone, Nacua, 4 targets, 3 catches, 50 yards, 57.1% threat percentage. When this dude was on the field, Matthew Stafford was like, oh, okay, he's back. I'm firing it straight at him. And so there was just no time to ramp up. There was no like, all right, let's ease him into this thing. No, they hit the ground running with both these wide receivers back on the field. And they said, hey, we don't have a lot of time left. We've had a lot of guys that have been hurt. We've lost a couple that we don't think we should have lost. Let's make up for lost time right now and hit the gas pedal. This is a huge win against a very good Minnesota Vikings team. So big time kudos to them. I'll roll that into my most impressive. Bobby Brown III, we saw him on that top 5 list, 76.1 run defense grade. We've talked about the pass rush for this defensive line. Braden Fisk, Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, like guys like that, where they're Byron Young, they've really been able to get after the passer. Bobby Brown's been a fantastic run defender for them. 3 of the last 4 games, he has earned a run defense grade above 70. So this Rams defensive line, in my opinion, certainly went into the season as one of the most underrated defensive lines in the NFL, and they're showcasing that not only can they really get after the passer with their young guys, they can also be pretty good in run defense as well. You're most impressive here in this game.
I had Nacua at first, then I was going to let you go on the rant about, let's get into Jared Verse. How about the 3rd Florida State rookie on this show that we have as a most impressive player? That's really something. Plus, Keon Coleman was in the top 5 there for the Bills. Again, you wonder why Florida State is where they are. It's because they lost all this darned elite talent. But Verse has been terrific all season. He led the team in this game with an overall grade, pass rush grade, 5 more pressures. I think he's got multiple pressures in every game this year. Those pressures finally turned into sacks for him. He had 2 sacks in this game. He had 1 coming into it. And the big thing, too, lately is he was struggling with some missed tackles earlier in the year. His last 3 games, he's only missed 1 tackle. The previous 3 before that, it was 11. He was leading the league in missed tackles at one point. Shoring that up, 82.8 overall grade for the season, 32 pressures through 7 or 8 games. I don't think the Rams have had a bye week yet. Either way, he's just been everything you could hope for. And honestly, I think we have to start thinking about, is he the front runner right now for Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Oh, easily.
I mean, he's just been incredible.
Yes.
And what you mentioned it with all those young kids they have up front. You weren't going to replace Aaron Donald with one guy.
No.
But they're doing it with a whole unit right now. Turner's been great. We've talked about him. Fisk, Verse, Byron Young, clearly very good at getting away with a face mask. I mean, just, you know,
veteran, just well beyond his years. Veteran move.
And, you know, and he said it was just a little loud in the stadium for him. But no, really. But he's a good player. They have a really good unit. This defensive line and all the young kids they have. Sure, none of them are Aaron Donald, or hell, maybe Jared Verse is on the outside, but but they've got
easy.
Oh, I know.
Oh, we got clipped.
Donald, the PFF god. I know,
we got clipped.
Did we? What happened?
No, I'm saying right there we got clipped.
Okay.
You just saying like, oh, maybe Jared Verse is, or no, I'm just saying we got clipped. Just letting you know.
I can tell you right now.
Might want to stay off Twitter for a while. Maybe stay with a family member.
This is a witness protection issue now?
Just lay low a little bit.
Wow, I didn't know I was going to get hunted down for that one. Wasn't even anything negative. Anyway.
That was an Anchorman reference. Did you catch it? Have you watched Anchorman?
It's been a while. You know I live in a cave.
We're trying, folks.
Yeah, you know how it is. Anyway.
Who's your most disappointing in this game?
Vikings, they need to run the ball a little bit better. And I think now there's going to be two factors in this. One, they have this thing now where they're starting games well in the first quarter and then it's slowing down, right? And the run game kind of is an example of that. First of all, they didn't have any explosive runs in this game. Second, 64 rushing yards for the game is rough. That's a season low, but 43 of them came in the first quarter. And now we have real concern now that the left tackle Christian Darrisaw is out for the year. That is a massive loss for an offense that was rolling. He's one of the best tackles in football. I'm a little concerned for this Vikings run game moving forward, especially without Darrisaw. They struggled in this game. When they lost that balance, Sam Darnold starts struggling when they're in true drop-back situations. And Darnold, actually, I should say, Darnold was very good in this game, but the lack of balance of really the Vikings had no other answers other than Justin Jefferson. That's a problem. They need more balance in this offense.
It just sucks that Darrisaw got hurt.
That's awful, yeah.
He's just one of the best offensive tackles in the game, and that sucks. Most disappointing for me is Vikings penalties. Quietly, they have a decent amount of penalties. They're top 10 in the NFL. Before Week 8, so this week, I haven't checked since because obviously not all the games in Week 8 are finalized, but they were already top 10 in the NFL with 46 penalties so far on the year. Against the Rams, they had 7 penalties, 3 automatic conversions on third down in the first half alone. So that's an area where, okay, you got to play more fundamentally sound football than that. So we talk about Coach of the Year with Kevin O'Connell and everything he's doing schematically, putting his players in really good spots, winning football games. You got to be more disciplined. That's something that you got to be able to hone in on. You can't beat yourself up, especially when you start playing against these really good teams. And unfortunately, I think the penalties were a big reason for that, especially in the first half of this one.